Okay, take a seat, settle in, the universe is about to begin. We'll try to keep it short. It officially lasted 13.8 billion years, but we're going to condense all of that into 5 minutes. What's to say we simplify? So, our universe, we live here, on a flat surface, balanced on the back of 4 elephants who stand on a turtle perched on a snake. No, I'm kidding. The reality is much more crazy. We live there, lost in the middle of space on a ball. Scary, complicated, and at the same time really cool. We're going to rewind to start the story at the Big Bang. The existence before our current reality is unknown. Some theories suggest the universe bounced back on itself, while others propose that before, there was truly nothing. Try to deeply imagine nothingness. Now, remove space and then time, you're pretty much there. Here, absolute silence is the only object of the sound void. No elementary particles, no sound, no light, no matter. One theory for those who might not have followed is how the absence of everything became the first thing, but we don't know for certain. To comprehend the Big Bang, even on a minuscule scale, it's best to discard notions of a start and finish. Bang your head against the plank wall between each word of the previous sentences and the trash can. A wall that is simply the moment from which the equations start to go haywire. Because no matter how far back we go, the universe was already born at 0. For us, the known history begins at the first cry, when at 10 to the power of minus 43 seconds, it has already aged. Between the inaccessible 0 moment and now, our knowledge collapses into nothingness. Raise your hand if you understand nothing. It's impossible to see what's hidden behind this wall. Beyond this border, the equations shatter. This wall is a limit, but it's not 0. The universe hides behind the curtain. When it finally opens at 10 to the power of negative 43 seconds, the entire universe is confined in a volume millions of billions of times smaller than an atom. Nearly all its mass is in the form of immense energy, with a temperature reading of 140,000 billion degrees. And yet, all the atoms that make us up, planets, stars, and galaxies, everything is potentially there, gathered at that point. Nothing solid exists yet, everything is just energy. Between 10:43 and 10:35 seconds, accelerated inflation occurred, causing the void to swell. In a remarkably brief period, the universe becomes populated with a vast array of entities. Its volume is multiplied by 10 to the power of 50. In this torrid plasma, it's the quantum void, full of promises. Particles constantly appear and disappear. On one side, the antimatter. On the other, the anti-antimatter, also known as matter. The latter, in very slight excess, will eventually prevail. And here is space populated, among other things, with particles of strange names. Never alone, always in 2s or 3s, they are called up and down, charm, strange, beauty, and truth. And to govern them all, 4 fantastic forces. The same mystical face manifests as the superforce and the grail. There is gravity, the first, which has a power of attraction over matter. The elastic man, the godfather, the big boss who distorts, pulls, and stretches the strings. Gravity, a form rather than a force, curves space-time, slowing time in more pronounced curves and explaining how bodies attract each other, but not why people fall in love. And then there is electromagnetism, responsible for light or electricity, magnetism, and chemical reactions. Lastly, the strong and weak interactions hold atomic nuclei together, cause radioactivity, and enable stars to shine, among other things. 1 second post-Big Bang, the temperature falls under 1 billion degrees. Still, the remaining matter is very dense, similar to mornings on Japanese trains. The universe keeps expanding and cooling, but we can't see anything. Everything is burning, opaque, and dark. Light cannot pass through. It's so dense, there's nothing to see circulating. Aged 380,000 years, it's now large enough to transition from opaque to transparent. This is the first portrait of our universe posing. From these tiny lumps in the image, a tiny temperature difference within the primitive matter, gas clouds will form. Let it rest and mix for 13.8 billion years to get hundreds of billions of galaxies. Within each of them, hundreds of billions of stars, around which orbit even more worlds. Small ones, big ones, dry ones, gaseous ones, blue ones. And, on at least one of them, find people who wonder why there is something rather than nothing. If you think you've understood everything, it's because I wasn't clear enough. I almost forgot to mention that we might live in a multiverse. Only 5% of what surrounds us is ordinary matter. The rest is invisible dark matter. Dark energy, indistinguishable shadows, and possibly hidden dimensions exist. In 80 years, it will likely end for both of us. Please leave the seats as you found them and look at the blue light in the screen's center before using emergency exits. Thanks to all those who support this channel, you are super pieces of the universe. Sometimes reality surpasses fiction, but if the universe is expanding, why do I often struggle to fit into my pants?